Best story for listening. Listen and repeat after me. A poor man was once married to a very beautiful woman. The man and his wife never quarreled. The husband loved his wife deeply, and the wife loved her husband just as much. They were very happy together, living a modest but content life. However, this happy couple had a rich and handsome neighbor. One day, this rich man saw the poor man's beautiful wife, and he immediately fell in love with her. I want to marry her myself, he thought, burning with desire and envy. Every day, while the poor man was away working hard in the fields, the rich man would come to the poor man's house. He would approach the wife and say with a charming smile, "You are a beautiful woman, but your clothes are so old and worn out. Why doesn't your husband buy new and pretty clothes for you? I am sure he doesn't love you. If he truly loved you, he would buy you the most wonderful clothes available." "Divorce him," the rich man urged. "Marry me, and I will buy you beautiful new clothes, the best in the land. Then you will be the most beautiful woman in all of Ethiopia." At first, the woman ignored the rich man. She didn't want to betray her husband or listen to another man's flattery. But the rich man came to her house every single day. And every day, he repeated the same words, the same promises, the same temptations. Gradually, the woman began to think, "Perhaps my neighbor is right. Why doesn't my husband buy me beautiful clothes? Maybe he doesn't love me as much as I thought." That night, she turned to her husband and said, "Look at me, my dear husband. My clothes are old and ugly. I want new ones. Please buy me some new clothes." Her husband looked at her with a loving smile and gently replied, "You don't need new clothes, my dear. To me, you are already the most beautiful woman in the entire world." But the wife was angry and disappointed. "Don't you love me?" she asked sharply. "If you love me, then buy me a new dress." The husband did love his wife, and he wanted to make her happy. But he only had a little money. "I need to buy a new plow for the field," he thought. "But I want my dear wife to be happy." So, the next day, he went to the market. Even though he could barely afford it, he bought a new dress for his wife and took it home. She put it on with joy and exclaimed, "Thank you, my dear husband. Now I know that you love me." When the rich man came to see her again, she greeted him wearing her new dress. "You see," she said proudly, "my husband loves me very much. He bought me this beautiful new dress." The rich man shook his head, pretending to be concerned. "But a good husband doesn't just buy his wife new clothes," he said. "He gives her gold necklaces, gold rings. Where is your gold? Why doesn't your husband give you those?" Then he opened a small box and showed her some sparkling, beautiful gold jewelry. "Look at these," he said. "Divorce your husband and marry me, and I will give all of this to you." Once again, the woman didn't listen to him. "Go away," she said firmly. "I love my husband, and he loves me. We are happy together." But the rich man was persistent. He returned every day, showing her the box of jewelry, repeating his offer again and again. Eventually, the woman began to wonder again. Perhaps he's right, she thought. Why doesn't my husband buy me gold? Doesn't he love me enough? That day, she didn't light the fire. She didn't cook any food. When her husband came home late after a long, tiring day in the field, he was hungry. "There is no dinner for you tonight," his wife said coldly. "You don't love me." "What?" her husband exclaimed. "But my darling, I love you more than anything. You are the most wonderful person in the world to me. Then why don't you buy me gold jewelry?" she demanded. When a man loves his wife, he gives her gold, necklaces for her neck, rings for her fingers. Her husband's heart sank. "I spent all my money on her new clothes," he thought. "How can I find money for gold?" "I'll go and see my brother," he decided. "Maybe he will lend me some money. I must buy gold for my dear wife. I want her to be happy." The next day, he visited his brother. "Lend me some money, brother," he said humbly. "I will work for you in your field to repay it." "All right," said his brother. "But you must work very hard. My field is full of stones, and you must clear them all." The poor man agreed, took the money, and went to the market. He bought some gold jewelry and brought it home to his wife. She was delighted. She placed the necklace around her neck and put the rings on her fingers. "Look at me," she said joyfully. "Am I not beautiful now?" "You are very beautiful," her husband replied. "If you are happy, then I am happy." She threw her arms around his neck. Thank you, my dear husband. Now I truly know that you love me." The next day, the husband woke up very early, before even the sun had risen in the sky. He ran to his brother's field, determined to begin his hard work. The land was covered with large, heavy stones. "I must work very hard now," he thought. "I must start early and finish late. I must repay my debt to my brother." Meanwhile, at home, his wife was working happily. She was feeling grateful and full of affection for her husband. "I will make a wonderful dinner for my husband tonight," she thought with a smile. "He gives me beautiful gifts. He works so hard for me. I know now that he truly loves me." Suddenly, she heard a familiar voice call out from outside. "Hello, are you there?" She stepped outside and saw her rich neighbor standing there once again. "Ah, it's you," she said coldly. "Listen, neighbor," she continued. "You were wrong about my husband. Yesterday, he bought me this beautiful gold jewelry. He loves me very much, and I love him. I will not divorce him. I will not marry you." The rich man looked troubled. Her husband loves her too much, he thought. If I truly want her, I must be clever. I must outsmart him. At last he spoke. "Your husband gave you clothes and jewelry." "Yes," he said. "But I can give you something even greater." "What?" the woman asked, surprised. "What do you mean? Can your husband perform miracles?" the rich man asked, raising his eyebrows. "Miracles?" she repeated. "Of course not. No man can make miracles. Only God can do that. "But I can," the man said proudly, "because I love you. Love can make miracles. If your husband really loves you, then he should be able to perform miracles for you. If you love me," he added, stepping closer, "I will make miracles for you." "Make a miracle for me now," the woman said, suspicious but curious. "I can't," the rich man replied. "Not yet. First, you must promise to love me. You must leave your husband and come to me. Then I will make wonderful, wonderful miracles for you." The woman said nothing. She turned her back, and the rich man left. That night, the poor man came home late. He was exhausted and starving. His wife greeted him gently. She brought him water to wash his hands and face. Then she brought him delicious food, and he ate gratefully. "My poor husband," she thought, watching him. "He works so hard for me. He is so tired and hungry. The rich man is a fool. How could my husband possibly perform miracles? It's impossible." But the next day, and the day after that, and the day after that, the rich man came again. He came every day, always asking the same question. "Did your husband make a miracle for you yesterday?" he would ask. "No?" he'd say. "Then leave him. Love me. I will make many, many miracles for you. Every day." Eventually, the woman began to listen again. The rich man's words echoed in her heart. She began to wonder. One day, when her husband came home from the fields, she was sitting quietly and looked very sad. "My dear wife," her husband said, rushing to her side. "What is wrong with you? Are you sick?" "No," she replied softly. "I'm not sick. I'm just sad, because you do not love me." Her husband was shocked. "What? But you know that I love you. I bought you new clothes. I bought you gold jewelry. You are the most precious thing in the world to me. But you don't make miracles for me," she whispered. Her poor husband stood there in disbelief. "Miracles?" he said. "Of course I can't make miracles. Why would you ask for such a thing? Who gave you this idea?" he asked, though he already suspected the answer. "Our neighbor came to see me again today," the woman admitted. "He said, 'Love makes miracles.' He said that if a man truly loves a woman, he will make miracles for her." The husband's heart sank. "That wicked man wants to take my wife from me," he thought. "All this trouble comes from him. First, she wanted new clothes. Then she wanted gold jewelry. And now she wants a miracle. What can I do?" He felt hopeless. "If I don't make a miracle, maybe my wife will leave me. Maybe she will go and marry him." The next day, he went slowly to his brother's field to work. His heart was heavy with worry and sorrow. "I must pray," he thought. "Only God can help me now." He looked up to the sky and lifted his hands. "O Lord God," he prayed with all his heart, "please help me to make a miracle. I love my wife so much, and I want to keep her. Please do not let that rich man take her away from me." He worked all morning, moving heavy stones from his brother's field. At midday, he sat down to rest under a tree. To his surprise, A man was already sitting there. "Who are you?" the poor man asked. "I am a wizard," the man replied calmly. "And I have a gift for you." He held out 2 sticks. "Look, these sticks can make miracles." "Miracles?" the poor man asked, his eyes wide with wonder and hope. "What kind of miracles?" "If you touch a person with the first stick," the wizard explained, "they will become a donkey." The poor man immediately thought of the rich man, and a smile spread across his face. "A donkey?" he said. "That's very good. And if I touch them with the second stick?" he asked. "They will return to their human form," the wizard replied. The poor man took the sticks and jumped to his feet. "Oh, thank you, my friend," he said joyfully. "I prayed to God, and He sent you to me. Now I can keep my wife and punish my enemy." He ran home as fast as he could. "Wife," he called out as he arrived home, holding the 2 sticks tightly in his hands. "Come here. I am going to perform a miracle." His wife came out of the house curious. "A miracle?" she asked. "What miracle?" "Look," said her husband. Without another word, he touched her with the first stick. At once, the woman changed into a donkey. She lifted her head and tried to speak, but she could no longer use human words. The only sounds that came out of her mouth were, "Hee-ha, hee-ha." The man then took the second stick and gently touched her again. At once, she transformed back into her human form. She stood blinking, stunned, but unharmed. Her voice returned, and she gasped, "Husband, that's wonderful," she exclaimed. "It's a real miracle. How did you do it?" "I prayed to God," her husband said humbly, "and He helped me." He paused for a moment, then added, "And now, wife, I am going to punish my enemy." "Your enemy?" she asked, her voice shaking slightly. "Who is that?" "You know who it is," her husband said, now serious and no longer smiling. He looked straight into her eyes. "It's the rich man, our neighbor," he said firmly. "He comes to our house when I'm out working in the fields. He gives you bad ideas. He told you to ask for new clothes," he continued. "He told you to ask for gold. And now he has told you to ask me for a miracle. Am I right?" He asked her directly. "Did our rich neighbor give you all these ideas?" The wife lowered her head and said nothing. "And did you listen to him?" the husband asked again. She still didn't answer. Her face turned red with shame. "I'm sorry," she whispered at last. "It's true. He said all of those things. He wanted me to divorce you and marry him. Anne, I listened to him. Do you want to divorce me and marry him?" her husband asked gently but firmly. The woman looked at him. Her eyes filled with tears. She shook her head slowly. "No, dear husband," she said. "I don't want to leave you. I want to stay with you forever. I love you, and I will never listen to that man again." "Then take this stick," her husband said. He handed her the first stick, the one that could turn a person into a donkey. But he secretly hid the second stick, the one that could change them back, up in the roof of their house. The next day, he went out early to work in the fields as usual. Soon after, the rich man arrived at the poor man's house, just as he had done so many times before. "Well?" he asked the woman eagerly. "Can your husband make miracles yet?" "Yes," she replied calmly. "He can." And with that, she touched the rich man with the first stick. Instantly, the rich man was no longer standing there. In his place stood a donkey, stunned, confused, and braying loudly. "Hee-haw! Hee-haw!" "Now," said the woman, "you can go to work and help my dear husband." She took the donkey by the rope and led it out to the fields where her husband was working, moving the heavy stones from his brother's land. When her husband saw the donkey, he smiled widely. "Ah," he said, "a donkey. Just what I needed. Now I can finish this job quickly." From that day forward, the donkey helped the poor man carry many heavy loads. It hauled stones away from the fields, carried sacks of teff, a grain used in Ethiopia, to the market, and brought back flour and coffee for the household. Years passed. The poor man was no longer truly poor. Thanks to the hard work of the donkey, his life became easier. He earned more money, bought more supplies, and grew more food. He and his wife lived comfortably. The donkey, however, had grown old. It stood quietly one day, tired and still, its head hanging low. The man looked at it and felt a pang of sorrow. "It has worked hard for many years," he thought. "It's tired. It's time." So he went into his house, took down the second stick from the roof, and walked outside. He touched the donkey gently. In a flash, the donkey turned back into the rich man. But he was no longer the young and handsome man he once had been. Now he was old. His back was bent. His hair was gray. His eyes were tired. "You try to take my wife away from me," the poor man said calmly. "That was wrong. Now go home. Don't ever look at another man's wife again." The rich man said nothing. He turned around slowly, humiliated and broken, and walked away. He never came back. But the poor man and his wife? They lived happily together for many, many more years. The end.